happened, Danny? Danny, what happened?
I was downshifting, and
you
then
spent all this money.
I hear you start beep, 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 beep. I'm like, holy cow! And then you got 2 left.
You spent all this money on a Lamborghini, and you lose to an Audi.
I reeled you in, and that's why you shut down. See, you saw the freight train coming. Hey, wait,
I don't have anything to say.
He saw the freight train coming.
What's up, Mike?
Hey, what's going on? This freaking mask.
I know.
King.
So we're finally at the OG Cars and Coffee in Pittsburgh, and look what we have here. This is Dr. M3's new SVJ, although it doesn't say SVJ anywhere, but this is a 1 of 10 Jago, and it's cold as hell. That's why I'm wearing my hoodie here. It's weird, it's mid-May, and it's like 45 degrees. But look at this thing. I'm afraid to even put my camera near. This is not a sticker or anything like that. This is painted. And I think it like moves along. Well, I can't get it on video, but absolutely gorgeous. Look at the spec. It's got white Alcantara all through the interior. If Doc can come around here somewhere, he'd probably open it up, but awesome. And then we got my buddy Jeff's new 765 in Fistral, Miami blue. Beautiful color. Look at the wing. Look at that. Amazing. Yeah, this is by far the most amazing SVJ I've ever seen in person.
You might as well do a launch control.
So we just got to Denny's house and I parked my car and I got out and I noticed I'm sitting on 3 wheels. Look at that. I'm 3-wheeling, that's hilarious. All right, so we just got to my buddy's condo here, and you can't come to this place without checking out the frickin' amazing view that he has of Pittsburgh. Look at this. So we got the Science Center right there, we got Heinz Field, over there is PNC Park. That's the point, and during 4th of July, they let off fireworks like right over here. And it's just the view you want when you're living downtown Pittsburgh. Look at this, amazing. I mean, the water could be a nicer color than poop brown, but what are you gonna do? So we're back at Audi of Pittsburgh, and we're gonna explain why here in just a second, but we are dropping the R8 off once again to take care of what needs to be taken care of. All right, so the Audi is dropped off, and this is what it's been replaced with. The complete opposite, an Audi e-tron that is electric. It's only a replacement for a few hours, of course. This is only the second electric, fully electric car that I ever drive. I drove a Model 3 a few years ago, a Tesla that is, and it is such a different experience. We're gonna talk about that here in just a second. So many people have seen the, not the previous video, but the video before that, where I dropped the R8 off for service for the first time, and we had a little mishap. My dash cam was on the whole time, and it caught some things that people were saying, mainly about you know, my car needing a battery, and I thought that was kind of odd, so I posted it, and a lot of you guys reached out and said, man, you need to let the dealership know about this, you need to reach out and so on. I didn't really have to do that because the GM of that dealership reached out to me actually on the Saturday when the video was uploaded. He actually called me an hour later when I was on the golf course. I didn't know it was him, so I didn't answer, I didn't recognize the number. He then called me one more time the day after, which was a Sunday. So we had a long conversation, and after that we talked again on the phone a few days later, and basically we came to an agreement that we would take care of everything. The car is obviously back there. They're giving me a new battery at no charge, also the cabin air filter that was missing, and you know, I mean, I've worked in the car business myself before. I know how it can be, and I appreciate good relationships, and the dealership as a whole seems to be professional, and there seems to be a lot of good people working there, so that's why I took the car back there, and it's been taken care of. So, you know, I just want that whole issue to be dealt with, and it has. which is why I'm now here with an Audi e-tron. So this, I don't know anything about this car. They just gave it to me. It's an e-tron Quattro, fully electric. I don't know exactly how much power it's putting out, but it is an Audi, so it is extremely nice interior wise. I've been driving it around for about an hour and it's such a different experience. But let's just start it up here. And yeah, it's running. I mean, you don't hear anything. It is completely quiet. I mean, even with a little 4-cylinder car or something, you know, you hear something. And for those of you watching that are used to electric cars, you probably aren't, you know, surprised at all here. But for me, who is not used to electric cars, I'm, you know, more used to cars that are extremely loud. It is so different. Now, initially when I got in the car, I was like, how do you put it in drive? And, you know, there's no gear selector. I did see like a P right here and then reverse, and I'm like pushing these buttons. But it's this little lever right here, which puts it in drive. What a different experience. This is wacko to me. It really is. I mean, it's cool. It's just so weird. It is completely quiet. So on the instrument cluster on the left side, we usually have a tachometer for a combustion engine, but that is the power meters at 25, 50, 75, and 100%. And then you have the speedometer right there. Now what's cool about electric cars is, at least the really powerful ones, yeah, they have all the torque available right away. Ooh, I didn't even know I was going that fast. Because you don't hear anything. Usually, I mean, you're used to hearing the engine, you know, rev up, and you can kind of tell that you're starting to go fast just from the sound. You obviously feel it as well. But in an electric car, you only, whoa, it's got all these stupid lane keepings. I hate those. You only like feel. You don't really hear anything. So it's just such a different perspective when it comes to speed. You slam it, and it pulls right away. Now again, I don't know exactly how much power this thing has. I'm assuming that it's probably around like the equivalent of 350 horsepower. And then right here, it's telling you how far you have till, I mean, it's not empty tank, but until the charge is depleted and you need to plug it in again. And it actually has a little gauge right there. So we currently have about 80% charge left and 160 miles to go on that charge. And I think, you know, that'll differ depending on how you drive the vehicle, just like with a combustion engine car. Depends on how you drive. Like me, I've been like stomping it the whole time. So interior wise, it is pretty nice. It's got like a dual screen right here. This is showing the climate right there. And then here you have it like your normal infotainment screen. One thing I don't like though is it's a touchscreen and it's extremely slow. The responsiveness of the touchscreen is not very good, and that's kind of what it was like in the beginning when touchscreens first came out. I mean, you clicked and like half an hour later something happened. They should have taken care of that by now. So yeah. Now at some point on the channel, we will have an electric car, because I do think that electric cars, they are cool. They definitely have a place. They're obviously extremely fast, at least some of them, like Tesla Model P100D or whatever they're called. Again, I'm not an electric car expert whatsoever. The thing is, when I get an electric car though, it has to be like a P100D or something like Plaid S or whatever the new Teslas are called now, because I love cars that just does something to you emotionally. Every car that I've owned, at least performance cars, they do just that for me. The Ferrari was excellent at doing that, and that's obviously because of V12 and straight piped, loud. It was just raw. It just gave you something when you drove it. It was amazing. The Audi does the same thing. Now, we just got the exhaust delivered yesterday on a Sunday, believe it or not. And once we get the exhaust on, that's gonna make it even better. My AMG straight piped as well. It's just raw, big V8. My first truck, you guys know about that, extremely loud. Now that's a truck, it's not really a performance vehicle, although it was supercharged, but it just does something to me. So an electric car driving around is completely quiet. Now granted, it's very comfortable. You know, I'm not saying every car I have has to be extremely loud, straight piped and so on, but it doesn't really do anything for me when it comes to the joy and just the experience, really. Unless it's maybe like a P100D that does 0 to 60 in 1.9 seconds and crazy launches, you know, all the torque from a standstill, that kind of thing. That's what it has to do. That's what it has to be if I'm gonna own an electric car. Uh-oh, tunnel run. See, boring. It doesn't, obviously I'm kidding. But that's what I mean. Like, it doesn't give you a reaction whatsoever. Like an electric car for me would be really boring long term, unless it is insanely fast and you can have a lot of fun. Now I love Audis. It's like my third major German brand of car that I've owned. But electric ones, I don't really know quite yet. I prefer ones with a V10. Yeah. Now we're talking. Woohoo! And the exhaust is still stock. Still sounds amazing though. Yep, the Audi sounds amazing, but it's about to sound a whole lot better because we finally, as I mentioned earlier, got the exhaust yesterday from DHL, but it was inspected or examined by U.S. Customs and Border Protection. Maybe that's why it took longer for it to get here. I don't know. It's all banged up and stuff. I mean, the boxes, the exhaust is just fine. So hopefully this week I can get it installed, man. I cannot wait to have a proper exhaust on that V10. It's gonna be amazing. It's a smaller box too, because this is a mid-engine car. So, you know, the exhaust doesn't have to go underneath the whole car. And it just fits in the bed underneath the awesome roll and lock tonneau cover. Perfect. So the first mods have been done. It's the spoiler and the diffuser. If you guys didn't check out that video and you want to see the install, go ahead and do that. I'll link it up here somewhere. Oh yeah, but we do have a tune coming, and at some point a supercharger as well. But that's not the only vehicle in the fleet that we have in the cramped up driveway here that's going to get supercharged. The F-150 will as well. It's just that that's so new in the market that they're still like producing superchargers in general for this truck here. They're not really out yet because it has the stupid cylinder deactivation feature and stuff in the 5.0, so it's not actually exactly the same engine, but it's coming hopefully soon. So V10, V8, V8, 6-cylinder. So I've owned a naturally aspirated V12. I have an NA V10 now. Had a couple V8s, second truck, that's NA V8 as well. I've never had an NA 6-cylinder, and the only NA 6-cylinder I would ever want is a Porsche GT3 or GT3 RS. So at some point, we got to get one of those as well. I was actually looking at those before I bought the R8, but it was just time for an R8 now. I wanted the V10 again, all-wheel drive, and the amazing color. But as we mentioned earlier in the video, I've never had an electric car either. And that might be next on the agenda. I do have, you know, a pre-order thing for the new Hummer, although I didn't get an allocation for the 1,000 horsepower one, which I'm bummed out about. So I'll only have to get the 800 horsepower. So we'll have to see if that's going to happen. But while I'm sitting and editing the first part of this video, get an email, not just personally to me, but Ford Motor Company sent out an email that a new F-150 Lightning is coming out. And it's going to be fully electric. So that's going to be extremely interesting to see what that's going to look like. So yeah, it's a lot to think about. I love combustion engines. You guys know that high NA engines is my preferred way to roll on the road, but you can't get away from electric. You just can't get away from EV. It's impossible. So at some point, I'm going to get an EV car to have, along with the other loud V8, V10, and V12 cars. Which car should I get? What would you guys like to see on the channel? The EV Hummer, a Tesla, Ford F-150 Lightning? I don't know. Let me know down in the comments what EV car you guys would like to see on the channel, and we're gonna pick one up. Maybe not this year here, but definitely next year. Let me know in the comments below. If you guys have enjoyed this video, you know what to do. Give it a huge thumbs up if you're stopping by for the first time and you haven't already and you want to. Please subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.